Assignment time. So in this assignment, I want you to build a 4-tier building in epic proportions, all in static mesh, and static mesh only, no BSP. So if you look around here, I could look inside the building and it looks nice. I can go to the exterior of the building, it looks nice. Now, being it's all BSP, I want you to just probably leave off a roof because in the fact that I would probably build the roof out of BSP, there is no static mesh big enough for the roof. And there we go. You would not want to try to stretch out a static mesh that far. It would ruin the texture space. So leave off the roof. That's fine. Now, let's discuss 4 tiers for a second. What does that mean? 4 tiers means 4 tiers high correlating to a character. All right. So we know a character to be what? 5 spaces up if it's a 32 grid, just like we seen in the previous unit. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's one character high because I have my 32 on as grid spacing goes, and I use the bracket key back and forth to change my grid spacing. All right. Now, how do you tell how big that is? Well, here's what I do is go in here, type in CH, capital CH. Here's corrupt male. I think he's around here somewhere. Iron guard male, that's what it is. So I'll drag him into the scene, even though he's not the right size. Let's size him up to be the right size, shall we? Okay, have to increase the grid space just to get him the right size. Just so I can get him onto the ground. And then I'll look at this. So each one of these squares, I can see the major squares because they're darker color. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to increase them just a little bit here. There we go. So that's pretty good. I'm not going to count, decameters here. I'm just concerned with 4 tiers high. If it's more than 4 tiers, good job. You went over and above what I was asking for. Now, think of a tier as this way too. You have your character, he's running around. He would have to have a ceiling, right? Yeah, so figure a little bit for the ceiling. Yeah, well over 4. With ceiling and everything. Cool beans. All right, so now that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that is that high. That looks ridiculous now, but that's okay. Things I'm looking for as far as the overall detail. I'm looking for the organization of your meshes. I'm looking for anything that's backface culled. So those things will deduct you in points. I'm looking for open holes. Those will deduct you in points. So please make sure that you close all your holes up. Things like that is just messy. If you ever played a glitchy game, I'll give you one that's really glitchy. Skyrim. Skyrim's incredibly glitchy. Awesome game. Don't let me dispel it. But if you fall off the world in certain locations, you can cheat like a mad dog in that game. So it's all because of backface culling, holes, and all kinds of just messy situations that were never looked at twice. They just kind of slapped it together. But it's because of those holes the game is glitchy, and that's what I'm looking for, even as a new student, to make sure that you are paying attention and adding that amount of detail. Also, I found out later that these things actually look better out of here, but I might actually delete these out. When I was inside the building and looked up, you can actually see the outside world, and it looked pretty cool. So I don't know. I might have a couple variations of this. How I did this is I grouped it all together, and then I can move it around. So I worked at 2 different tiers, moved this one, and I was able to resize it. So now it's one huge group that I can resize and place anywhere I want. And that's how I generally work. I work in smaller groups and then build up and keep building up, not focusing too much on the overall picture, because then creativity is kind of out the window. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. One building, 4 tiers tall. Epic. Enjoy, and see you in the next unit when you get that done. Oh, shoot. One more thing. So if you chose to bend parts, like this part right here, I showed you how to bend parts within certain attributes. Those parts will not export. What you're going to have to do is give me your actual UDK and UPK. In other words, I'm going to have to save this as, and you're going to give me the UDK file. Okay. And then when it comes down to neck, let's say you bent something. Well, here, when you save it, that's going to save the UPK folder file. And that's going to be located somewhere on your hard drive. You can explore and copy this file and put it right next to your map. That way, when I do load your map up, it'll load all the extra stuff that you've chosen to bend. Alright, so in this case I have content maps, Jason Walsh, paste. So there is my neck roofs that's been augmented. Here is the file. Please do not rename this one. Compress it. That's where you can rename it. So now I can name this Unit 2, first name, last name. There we go. And that's what I want. So make sure you get those packages to me. You will be deducted if I see a bunch of holes in your meshes. I'll just have to, just be unkind about that. All right. Enjoy and have a good one.